Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez, Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Marco Antonio Barrera, and Canelo Alvarez. These are the 6 Mexican boxers that many people talk about when discussing who's the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. With another impressive win for Canelo this past weekend over the young Jaime Munguia, it brings up the question again, where does Canelo rank among these Mexican greats? When I look at Canelo's resume, I truly believe that he has the best resume among Mexican boxers. Being a 4-division world champion sure helps, and what's crazy about Canelo is he's always a bit smaller than average for super middleweight, yet he continues to dominate and wipe through the division, as he's the current super middleweight champion. Not only that, but he also fought at light heavyweight and won a belt against Sergey Kovalev. Now, let's compare him to the others. Salvador Sanchez was great and one of the greatest featherweights of all time, but unfortunately his career was cut short due to him passing away. Who knows what he could have accomplished, but I just can't consider him the greatest. And he only won 1 belt in 1 division. For Julio Cesar Chavez, he's a legend, no doubt, but the majority of opponents that he faced is nowhere near the same talent as the majority of the opponents Canelo faced. Was JCC a warrior? Yes. Did he have an impressive amount of wins? Yes. But was his quality of wins better than Canelo? No. Now, Eric Morales was a 4-division champion and had a lot of good quality wins, but he also had 9 losses, 3 by knockout. Other honorable mentions like Barrera and Marquez definitely are close and had great long careers, but I still don't think they get the nod. Canelo's dominance, power, counterpunching, and chin just make him one of the best fighters ever. Of course, his ducking against Benavidez, it doesn't help his case. But Canelo has been pretty consistent throughout his career of facing the best of the best. I don't think any Mexican boxer could beat him in the history of boxing. I don't think any Mexican boxer has a better resume than Canelo. I also don't think any Mexican boxer has accomplished as much as Canelo. So I just gave you 3 reasons as to why Canelo is the best Mexican boxer ever. I can't think of anyone or anything that could really change my mind on this. Maybe I have a little recency bias, but maybe you have some nostalgia bias. There's no right or wrong answer. Another thing to note, Canelo still has a couple years ahead of him. He might not be what he once was, but he's still dominating. I think the only real threat for Canelo at 168 and below is Benavidez, and we don't even know that. I still think he could hold it down at 168 for another year or 2. He has some controversy, Canelo does, with the ducking with Benavidez, the drug testing, other things that, losing to Floyd that people still bring up, even though he was young and Floyd was just a more veteran, more experienced boxer. And people like to bring up the Dimitri Bivol loss, which I think is pretty stupid. He bumped up from 175. He's not even supposed to be a natural 168-pound super middleweight fighter. Okay, he really should be fighting at 160, Canelo should be. Bumps up to 175, takes on arguably the best light heavyweight in the world, and not just the best light heavyweight, but he's a pound-for-pound boxer. I'm sure most of us have Dimitri Bivol in the top 10 pound-for-pound rankings. And, we still held his own, and it was still a close fight. Dimitri Bivol just landed more. He was quicker, stronger. But, what really impresses me also, I mentioned earlier in this video, is just Canelo's chin. I really never see Canelo get knocked out and maybe never even hit in the canvas. In the future, he does have Terrence Crawford on the radar. Like I mentioned, Benavidez as well. Benavidez could be the only guy to maybe beat him and maybe put him down on the canvas. I don't think Canelo will ever really get knocked out cold, but to hit the canvas, I really think that Benavidez is the only guy to do it. And maybe Artur Beterbiev. If that fight was to ever happen, I don't think it should. I think Canelo should also move on from Dimitri Bivol. Really just focus on just becoming the best super middleweight fighter of all time. Fight Benavidez. Fight whoever's coming up. Fight Terrence Crawford. That'd be such a good fight as well. I don't think Terrence Crawford would do much damage to Canelo either, but I do think Canelo could do some damage to Terrence Crawford. Not a smart fight for Terrence Crawford, but money talks. I think Canelo will definitely beat that. So like I said, anybody at 168 and below, the only people who could really maybe beat Canelo is David Benavidez. But I still think he's the face of boxing, and I truly believe that he's just the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I love hearing your guys' opinions. I appreciate all this stuff, talking boxing, boxing history. I really just love talking boxing. I'm out, guys. Peace.